There's one other position that I wanted to ask you, and then we could wrap this up. So
Yeah.
obviously, Tobias Harris has been up and down. There's been games where he can't miss a shot, but he's had a couple of ankle sprains this year. Does it get to a point where you consider having Isaiah Stewart next to Jalen Duren in the front court just because when they are out there together, it really works. Like, they really play bully ball. Stu has shown the ability to stretch the floor. I believe he's shooting close to 40% from 3 this year, or he is shooting 40% from 3. He's shown the ability to stretch out the defense. I mean, is that something you do explore, and maybe you have Tobias Harris come off your bench and just try to roll that double big out there?
You know what? At media day, we chuckled. Social media chuckled. Social media said, "No, no, stop, no." When he said, "Oh yeah, JB Beckerstaff told me, to pull off that 3-pointer again, so I'm gonna dust that boy off this year," and we were like, then he comes into the season, and you see, JB Beckerstaff wouldn't ask him that if he don't know his players. I love a coach that understands his personnel, understands what their ceilings could be. Because for this team to grow, I do think that you need minutes with Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart out there, but that means that you also need someone who can be versatile defensively and offensively. Isaiah Stewart has fit that role perfectly. And, if Tobias continues down this path where it's not as consistent, not necessarily the same defensively, he's not all over the court the way Isaiah Stewart is, and he's not hitting the threes at the same rate, even though you can always do something different with your closing lineup. So if you just believe, hey, we want his back to the basket ability, his ability to score in that mid-range, that little turnaround in there at the end of the game, you can always throw Tobias in there. But for what we're seeing Isaiah Stewart be this year, you got one, he needs the minutes if you can afford it health-wise. And then two, the impact that he and Duren are having together is, we see it this year. Like this isn't the traditional double beef lineup anymore. This is one where Isaiah Stewart is effectively stretching the floor from 3. This is one where Jalen Duren, instead of just having to be posted up in the paint, he literally had a play where he drove from the top of the key and dished it out to Isaiah Stewart for a 3. I forget which game it was, but he's had plays like that. So when your players aren't just reticent to the paint on defense and offense on either side, neither Duren or Isaiah Stewart, because Isaiah Stewart has taken a leap from beyond the arc, and Jalen Duren has taken a leap as it relates to being more versatile with his handles from all 3 areas, 3-point, mid-range, and in. No, I think that you can and you should explore playing them more. They look good in the starts they've had together too. I would look at doing it a little bit more, and I get it with the vet. You want to give him as much opportunity as possible as a leader. But I almost wonder if at this stage in the process and in the career, if he does play a little bit better off the bench with some of those players, if he is now more of a stabilizing force with, a Dennis Jenkins, Karis LeVert, and some of these other players that would be coming off the bench. I actually kind of like that fit at this stage. Last year's Tobias, no. You were setting a culture. He was teaching those boys the value of what they were going through and helping them understand the moment that they were in. You guys were a playoff team, even if y'all can't see it yet. This year, Cade Cunningham and all the boys, they got that. They know what they are.
Yeah.
So it's different now. And I think when you see what's working, we know coaches, especially at JB, they're going to give their vets their time. But I would not be surprised if eventually you see some type of a switch like that if they don't do something at the trade deadline.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it because very early on in the first quarter, I don't know if you peeped this, but JB called a timeout. They were down 18-9, and he decides to have Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson, and double bigs with Isaiah Stewart and Jalen Duren. And the Pistons go on a run and get close in the first quarter, and it was like a 1-possession game. I think the defensive pressure that you would have with the double bigs at the rim and in the painted area, I think does give you an advantage. I think the only thing that I think kind of gets a little bit difficult is if you are going to have a SAR out there, he's going to have to find ways to crash the glass like he was doing last night for putbacks, finding backdoor cuts, cutting to the lane, because I think at times when you do have double bigs out there, I think he doesn't really know if he should be standing in the corner, if I should cut. I love double bigs. I just think from a spacing perspective, sometimes it gets a little clunky. But I'm really interested to see what Isaiah Stewart's role is on this team in the long term. Obviously, we love him off the bench, being an
Yeah,
elite rim protector, one of the best rim protectors in the NBA. I just kind of question, like, during a season, can he be durable enough to, play
that's
25,
it.
30 minutes for as hard as he plays? Because we all know, like, he plays 120% every possession. I think in the back of my mind, because I see a lot of fans ask, like, should Stu start? My only thing is, like, if you're playing him 25, 30 minutes a night and he's
The
playing
wear
as
and the
hard as
tear.
he does, the wear and the tear, this guy just goes through protecting the rim, crashing the glass. I think, his body will kind of tear down towards the end of the season. I mean, we saw
What
it with
happened
his
last
knee.
year?
Yeah, with his knee, like he had knee inflammation really, really bad, and he was out for 2 weeks. And then he tried to give it a go in game one against the Knicks, and he just had no lift
And that was on 19
whatsoever.
minutes a game
Yeah.
last 19 minutes per game last year. I asked JB Bickerstaff before that playoff series, like, hey, you reduced the minutes. You got a lot of games played out of him, and you got his efficiency jumped across the board, including his defensive numbers. You ready to finally turn it up in the playoffs? He was like, we'll see. And it was effectively implied. He kind of smirked and walked off, implying that we about to turn up Stu. And so it was tough to see him get hurt after that. And that's what I said. Like, I'm hoping we see more minutes of Duren and Stu, but I almost feel like to keep Stu in a position to where you can get more consistently, you got to protect his health. Early on, it
Yeah.
was bleak because it was both him and Jalen Duren that were getting injured. Jalen Duren's ankles were just a problem for a long time. And so I don't know, like it's tough. We know we need Isaiah Stewart. I would love to be able to play him as many minutes as possible, but then the health component, as you brought up, is one of the main factors as to why he got 19 minutes per game last year, and it disqualified him from probably winning some awards or having some recognitions that he deserved defensively. This
Oh
year he
my
won't have
god.
that problem. He won't have that problem this year, but we got to make sure that he can get through the season. And right now, whatever the Pistons medical staff is doing, I think that this is brilliant. Even the games that Cade missed, it was because he literally got knocked out the air and landed on his back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I do believe that the medical staff this year, to start through this first third of the season, it's much better. Some of the things that used to really, really nag this Pistons team and these young players, it's not really there. And even Jaden Ivey, we see him out there playing and running around, coming back from injury that took him out last January 1st, coming up on almost a year since that. So I applaud them because in years past, I'm going to be real with you, it was a little bit concerning and it was a little bit bleak. The vets were always hurt. And I don't mean like knee to knee stuff. That's an injury. Like an actual like not that's not like a non-contact or these players are getting bruised up over every little thing. Like, Jalen Duren's ankles are not the same issue through the first third of the season that they have been in previous seasons. Even Isaiah Stewart, he's out there and he's having an impact and playing more minutes this year than he did last year. So, I'm hoping that trend continues. Whatever they're doing health-wise, strength and conditioning-wise, definitely keep it up because this team is not huffing and puffing as much as they were last year. Last year, Osar Thompson and Jalen Duren, bro, it looked like they could fill up a whole rain barrel based off how much they were sweating, huffing, puffing. And with Osar, I get it because his offseason got taken in the first 25 games of the season. This year, they look ready for it. They do not look as tired at the end of games as they did last season. And I believe that these things are up on them. Their bodies look more fit. And I think that they should be able to take the wear and tear. But with Stu, I keep my fingers crossed, man. I do. I
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah. I think the conditioning is definitely improved after, a lot of those players never witnessed a playoffs. And I know Trajan talked about it with Cade in particular about like now he knows what it's like to play playoff basketball. We want him to focus on getting in better condition so he's okay playing basketball into late April, May, possibly June. But I think my only pushback on the starting Stu conversation, because I see a lot of people ask it, is I just worry with the long NBA season and the way that that man plays basketball. I love it, but I don't know if it's sustainable for 30 minutes a night. And because I could definitely see him getting injured within like a week or two, just because the rim protection, diving for loose balls, mixing it up
Yep.
down low in the post, like um
Starting against the opponent starters, the best bigs every single night, his minutes to be matched up with them rather than being able to pick and choose your spots to put them in.
Yeah, I mean,
you're raising up some great points.
I mean, a lot of the games down the stretch, I mean, he's closing the games out, which I love, and I'm there for. I think a lot of fans just have questions long term about the power forward position, which who knows what to do with the deadline? Who knows if Tobias Harris is still kind of dealing with an ankle injury? I'm not making excuses for him, but he just kind of seems like his age this year. Like he seems like he's 33
Yeah.
years old, and we're the same age, and it's just like I feel them. Like I wake up with back pains every day. I wake up with swollen ankles from time to
Talk about
time.
it,
Like,
bro.
I, hey man, I feel it. I feel like last year he really didn't look his age, man. He was doing such a good job defensively, especially rebounding the basketball. There were big games where he was scoring the basketball, but just seems like he's a little bit out of rhythm this season. I don't know if it's injuries. I don't know if it's just he's having a down year, but I think it's just a lot of fans just wondering like what the long-term power forward solution on this team is. It could be Isaiah Stewart, could be someone at the trade deadline, could be someone in free agency. You never really know.